this legislature collectively decides that legislating hate against children is our priority, then I am going to make it painful for everyone. Because if you want to inflict pain upon our children, I am going to inflict pain upon this body.
That is Nebraska State Senator Machaela Cavanaugh a few weeks ago pledging to block all state legislation in her effort to stop a bill banning gender-affirming care for transgender youth from passing.
Welcome back to GMA3, everyone. State Senator Cavanaugh is on week 6 of fulfilling that promise, and because of that, no bill has passed that state Senate this year. And now Cavanaugh is on a new mission. Nebraska State Democratic Senator Machaela Cavanaugh joins us now for this GMA3 exclusive interview. State Senator, it's good to see you. Let's jump right into this. You are the first senator in your state to filibuster every bill in your legislature's 90-day session, debating even the ones that you support. And it's all over this bill called LB 574. So what is this bill actually proposing, and why are you so opposed to it?
Well, thank you, first of all, for having me. And yes, so LB 574 is a model legislation that we're seeing across the country. It's attacking gender-affirming care for trans youth. And we've seen this being introduced in multiple other states. It's currently tied up in the courts in Arkansas, and Nebraska is just another state that is attempting to legislate hate, and I'm here to stop us from doing that.
You've said you'll continue to filibuster this bill, but doing so is also delaying other important work like dealing with the budget or tackling child care. Why are you willing to sacrifice these other issues? Do you think this is worth it?
Well, I'm not willing to sacrifice other important issues. What I'm doing is asking the legislature to decide what it is that we want to do this year. What is our agenda? And is legislating hate our priority, or are the things that you just discussed? The budget, child care tax credits, tax cuts, the economy. These are the things that I believe the legislature should be focused on, not legislating hate. And I'm asking my colleagues to join me in that conversation. So if that means that I have to slow things down and filibuster bills until we can come to some consensus that this is not who we are as a state, then that's what I'm willing to do.
According to the ACLU, there are more than 400 anti-LGBTQ bills. The Human Rights Campaign says about 150 bills target transgender people. Less than 1.6% of the U.S. population is transgender or non-binary. Why do you think politicians on both sides of the aisle are so focused on transgender Americans?
I would say that I don't know why people are focusing on this issue. What I do know is that these policies are an attempt to diminish, dehumanize, demoralize the transgender people in Nebraska and across this country. And we collectively, no matter what political party we belong to, need to stand up against that. It is inappropriate for our public policy makers in this country to be attacking a vulnerable minority population. And I think it is incumbent upon all of us to stand up against that. This is really a crisis of our country and a crisis, at least in my state. And I am asking my colleagues to stand up against this.
We are seeing a lot of discussion about this all across the country. As you mentioned, this is a controversial issue, particularly because it involves children. There are going to be a lot of people who say this is extreme, waiting for these kids to grow up to be sure that this is in fact their choice. Doesn't seem all that extreme. Why do you think these kids need this care now?
I think that every individual deserves access to appropriate health care, and I believe firmly in parental rights and making medical decisions for their children. We are attacking a certain medical care because of who the patient is and how they identify. This is not something that should be in the hands of government. Parents, medical providers, and their children should be making these decisions together. Whether I think medical care is appropriate or inappropriate is completely irrelevant. It is not for me or anyone else to say that this care is inappropriate. It is for a parent, the patient, and the doctor to decide together. And I don't know why we would accept this just because we're talking about transgender children. We wouldn't be having this conversation if we were talking about taking away parental rights when it comes to vaccines. So why are we having this conversation when it comes to transgender children?
Okay, that's an important distinction, whether we're talking about the care or parental rights. Appreciate you making that distinction. Today, you're announcing a new political action committee. I'd like you to tell us a little bit about that and what you hope it will accomplish.
Yes, thank you. I'm starting a political action committee called don'tlegislate.hate.org. I am joined with two of my colleagues, Senator Megan Hunt and Senator John Frederickson, both of Omaha. And we've been hearing an outpouring from people in Nebraska and across the country wanting to know how they can support what we are doing and what steps they can take to be activated. And so we decided that this was a good step in the right direction to start a political action committee so that we can support candidates and the conversation to stop this type of legislation across the country and definitely here at home in Nebraska.
Nebraska State Democratic Senator Machaela Cavanaugh, thanks so much for taking the time to be with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate being here.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.